Hello, 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 and welcome to this Digital Bay Quick Pint. Now, I want to talk about something really rather unpleasant, and that is that somebody contacted me to tell me about the use of rape on female Israeli victims in the terrorism that is going on at the moment in Israel. And specifically, they asked me, well, how on earth can men be sexually aroused by this? How on earth is it possible to be sexually aroused by raping somebody? And so by the end of this video, you will know precisely why men are able to be sexually aroused by rape, and indeed why men may eventually be evolved to find rape particularly arousing. It's a wonderfully naive question, but I have looked at this in my book, The Silent Rape Epidemic, How the Finns Were Groomed to Love Their Abusers, and in particular a chapter called The Evolution of Rape. And I would refer you to a book called The Natural History of Rape, which looks at this. Essentially, under half Darwinian conditions of our past, of our evolutionary past, in which we lived in polygamous societies, top males dominated the gene pool and got all the females. And so the only way in which the men who were not top males could pass on their genes was by forming rape gangs, going around and finding females and raping them, with each of the males that were involved in the rape gang having approximately an equal possibility of passing on their genes and getting the woman pregnant. Now, of course, what this would select for would be a propensity, in certain circumstances at least, in particular if you are not a particularly high-status male, would be a propensity to rape, would be a propensity to be sexually aroused by rape, would be a propensity to be sexually aroused by violence, and would be a sort of merger, a fusion between sex and violence. But what it would certainly mean is that a propensity to engage in rape, at least in certain circumstances, and to find that arousing would be selected for. What also has been found is that when men watch violent pornography as opposed to normal vanilla pornography, they become more sexually aroused than is the case when they watch normal pornography, and they also produce more semen. And it's been theorized that the reason for that is obviously that it is adaptive to be, in part, to be sexually aroused by violence. And that sexual arousal by violence in our prehistory is associated with gang rape, and it follows, therefore, that you should produce more semen in those circumstances to compensate for the fact that you will be doing this as part of a gang, and so you will be engaging in sperm competition. And so therefore you need to produce more semen. So it would follow that there would be that you're going to get some proportion of the population, to varying degrees, that are going to be sexually aroused by rape. Thirdly, it could be argued that in prehistory, the very essence of in a kind of extreme R strategy ecology where nobody trusts anybody, the only way in which a woman can be sure that a man is the kind of high-status man whose genes she wants her child to have is if he utterly dominates her. And so, therefore, there would be a degree to which, in Andrea Dworkin's kind of terms, the only test that he is the right kind of man would be that he can dominate her, i.e. that he can overpower her, i.e. that there is a violent dimension, a rape dimension, if you like, although that's not quite the right word, to any sexual encounter. This would again, so she should fight him off, and this would again militate in favour of the male being sexually aroused by violence, being sexually aroused by rape. And if you think about the very nature of a woman getting pregnant, it involves the woman throwing everything at the man's sperm to completely destroy it, and finally one gets through and she becomes pregnant. It's not a kind of a romantic thing. And finally, there's a Congolese doctor, Denis Mukwege, who argues, well, if a group rapes the females of the other group, then this is incredibly damaging to their morale, and so you're more likely to dominate them. And so it could be argued that there'd be something adaptive at the group level about people being aroused by this kind of thing, because if they're more likely to do that, then they're more likely to sap the morale of the other group and dominate the other group. So, I mean, it's extremely distasteful and very unpleasant, and a horrible subject. But for all of these reasons, it seems that there, particularly in the right circumstances, there is every reason why we would expect rape to be an element of warfare, and for certain kinds of men to be very specifically aroused by rape. Horrible, isn't it? But more so than other forms of sex. For those of you who watch from the north of England, or at least can get there, tickets for our Liverpool meet-up on the 16th of December are nearly sold out. So for your last chance for a proper based meet-up, click on the link below and reserve your place there now. Are you ready for the future of the West?
Okay.